Hey everybody, welcome back to Princess Friend. I am your host, Princess Friend. You know, occasionally I do come around and I do a review that is not of a Prince-related topic. And this one is going to be for a performer that I've loved for years. She is one of my all-time favorites, and she is one of those people who I love for the sheer amounts of creativity that she has, pretty similarly to how Prince kind of came about in his career. And I'm speaking of none other than Fiona Apple, and we're going to be reviewing her debut album, Tidal. If you want to stay in the loop, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you are notified directly whenever we put out a new video. Now, Tidal was released on July 23rd, 1996, which is around my birthday, so I did end up getting this album as a birthday present, and it was released when she was 18 years old, and I was around 17 or so we were very close in age too, so I felt like a kinship with her. Of course, I was a high school slacker, and she was a classically trained pianist and songwriter, so obviously a little bit above me. She had composed so many songs and wrote poetry since she was 8, and she put it to music like it was nothing. She got her break when she was 16, when she gave her demo to a friend who just so happened to be babysitting for a record executive named Andy Slater. She ended up passing the tape along, and then Fiona Apple was an obvious win when the guy got to listen to it. It wasn't until the third single off the debut album that Fiona Apple actually became a household name and was widely played on the radio. Her first two singles, Sleep to Dream and Shadowboxer, were largely ignored because they were not as commercial as Criminal was. Even the follow-up to Criminal, Never Is a Promise, didn't do as well. Regardless, the album sold 2.7 million copies and was certified 3 times platinum in the US, which is no small feat for a first-time artist. And I do always seem to find myself drawn to solo and talented musical geniuses. Fiona Apple is one of those. She's not as prolific as I like. I've been spoiled on Prince, but there are extenuating circumstances surrounding a lot of that. Fiona, because I can call her Fiona, you know, we're tight and all, is a rebel at heart and has always strived to use her talent to give her a platform for change. She uses every moment that she has to great effect.
I didn't prepare a speech, and I'm sorry, but I'm glad that I didn't, because I'm not going to do this like everybody else does it. Because everybody that I should be thanking, I'm really sorry, but I have to use this time. See, Maya Angelou said that we as human beings, at our best, can only create opportunities. And I'm going to use this opportunity the way that I want to use it. So what I want to say is, everybody out there that's watching, everybody that's watching this world is bullshit. And you shouldn't model your life. Wait a second. You shouldn't model your life about what you think that we think is cool and what we're wearing and what we're saying and everything. Go with yourself. Go with yourself.
And a lot of her outspokenness got her kind of blackballed here and there, but I applaud her for doing everything she can to try and affect change, again, kind of in the same way Prince used to. But let's see if she syncs up musically with your ear. Let's go ahead and get into those tracks.
I got my feet on the ground and I don't go to sleep to dream. You got your head in the clouds, you're not at all what you seem. This mind, this body, and this voice cannot be stifled by your deviant ways.
Now, Sleep to Dream is a wonderful song to introduce Fiona Apple to the world, in my opinion. So it's about a bad relationship, about one person who wants to go out and conquer the world and has a mission, and another person who is trying to hold them back. The phrase sleep to dream always to me was almost like, look, I already know what I want. I'm not sleeping to dream, I'm sleeping to recharge so that I can keep going for that prize. And a lot of her songs are framed in these kinds of relationships where they seem like they're just dysfunctional, but there's a deeper meaning to the lyrics. Musically, her piano playing on this track is amazing, but it's just a taste of what you're going to get on the rest of the album. It was the second single, but I don't even think it really charted.
And there's too much going on, but it's calm under the waves in the blue of my way.
Track 2, Sullen Girl. It's a melancholy kind of song with a haunting melody, and Fiona Apple sings it with a low tone to evoke sadness. It's also the first taste of what this album is really going to be like going forward. A lot of it is just her and her piano, because that's where she really shines, as a classically trained pianist, obviously. The drums are subdued, as is most of the song. Sullen Girl is the kind of exercise in what depression kind of feels like, and it feels really beautiful.
You made me a shadowboxer, baby. I wanna be ready for what you do. And I've been swinging around me, 'cause I don't know when you're gonna.
So Shadowboxer was the very first single, and not only is a very poetic song about a fight you wished you had with a man since he left you, and she boxes his shadow to make sure that when he comes back next, he doesn't lure her back into a relationship. But it's also the first showing of what Fiona Apple's voice is really capable of. She hits a lot of really high notes, a lot of really low notes. This song kind of goes everywhere, and it really shows off her voice. And I'm really a fan of how this album is put together, because every song is giving us a different, new experience with her and her music, and it's just fantastic.
What I need is a good defense, 'cause I'm feeling like a criminal, and I need to be redeemed to the one I've sinned against, because he's all I ever knew of love.
So Criminal is about the bad girl who cheated on her man and is looking for a way to get back in his good graces. It received Grammy Award for Best Female Rock Vocal Performance, and I have to say that I have heard this song so many times that it's actually kind of hard to listen to anymore. And it's not even that it's bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's actually an amazing song. It's got an amazing bass line. The piano riffing is really great. Her voice is on point. It is honestly such a good song that it got played a million times on the radio, and it's really, it's hard for me to listen to it. With all of that said, though, listening to it now just for this review, it's a damn good song. I think I can actually listen to it again. I stayed away from it for a very long time, but wow, I think time does heal all wounds.
My big secret, gonna win you over, slow like honey, heavy with moon.
Slow Like Honey is pretty much a song about revealing a dream to the one that you want, and using that vulnerability to insinuate yourself slowly into their lives. And as soon as she has her man, she has to now decide whether she kind of wants to keep him. It's really poetic. Again, that's really what she's all about. It does take a few listenings before I really got into it, as it is a little bit slow, but obviously it's part of the name of the song. But it is really, really beautiful, and I think I'm gonna go listen to it right now again.
Give me the first taste, let it begin. Heaven cannot wait forever. Darling, just start the chase.
So The First Taste is actually my favorite song on Tidal, besides Sleep to Dream, because that one's just so good. And it's because it's probably the only really kind of dance-like song on this whole album. Her voice is also really charismatic on this song, to the point that I feel like it reaches Prince-like levels here. Her lyrics are a little bit more complex than what you normally get from Prince, where she actually sings a lot about sex without actually saying anything about sex in this song. However, she evokes the same emotion, and that's really what makes me dig this track. Essentially, the meaning of the song is that she's done waiting for her man to take her. She's done with the courting. She's like, come get it. And I'm like, yeah, man, go get it. Mwah, gorgeous song.
You say you understand, but you don't understand. You say you never give up seeing eye to eye, but never is a promise.
So, short anecdote on Never As a Promise. I had a roommate who wouldn't stop playing this song. And for a long time, it made it so that I couldn't listen to it because I would come home and she was listening to it. And when I left for work, she would be listening to it. And when I was home, she'd be listening to it over and over and over again. Now, she came from a broken and abusive home, and I didn't, at the time, realize what this song really exactly meant and why it was important to her and why she kept listening to it. The song itself is a conversation with someone who is promising to see you through all of your hard times, and how important that kind of promise is to someone who's going through these terrible experiences. So what used to annoy me, now when you listen to the words and you listen to how heartfelt it is, it makes me cry now every time I hear it. Fiona is masterful on this song, and it's a shame that as a single, it failed to chart. It just didn't grab the public's attention as much as it should have.
'Cause I suddenly feel like a different person from the roots of my soul. Come a gentle coercion, and I ran my hand or a strange.
The Child Is Gone is a great addition to this album, kind of bringing us back to the baseline experience after tearing our hearts out in the last track. It's kind of the opposite of Never Is a Promise, where she is now rejecting the confidence and the empathy of the person that she wants to be with, claiming that she just doesn't have a soul anymore. Her childhood is gone, and she's just hurt so much, and there is no more inner joy in her. And it can be taken on an emotional level, or it can literally be taken as a song about a loss of pregnancy. Many of the lyrics can be interpreted in different ways to fit either of those, but I link it to the previous track myself, and it just makes it even more heartbreaking. The penultimate song of this chilling ride through the psyche of a damaged person who is holding everything inside and trying to just lead a good life. Pale September is a song about trying to stay strong for your partner and your family, regardless of what you might be going through. Fiona in this song is always waiting for the other shoe to drop because her winter is coming. That's why it's Pale September right now. It's a simple song, but its simplicity carries a certain sadness with it, and yet seems to also kind of brighten at the end, kind of belying a bit of hope that's on the horizon. She's seeing a bit of warmth in her life, and it's just another great track. So the final track, Carrion, is amazing. It shifts back and forth between the slow groove of the verses and the crashing and orchestral chorus with church bells and all. It's about kind of looking at the love that you have with somebody and considering your option. Do you stay with them, or do you walk away and save yourself from like a flock of birds trying to eat away at you? It's such a perfect ending to this song because Fiona Apple's voice howls with sadness and determination at the same time. It makes you feel what it means to kind of be in her shoes. It's the perfect ending. It brings the whole album back together, and it completes the experience. In my mind, there are very few first albums from such an obviously talented musician that solidifies their place in music history. Tidal, upon first listen, might just seem like it's a girl and a piano, Tori Amos ripoff. There's a million of them out there, but Fiona has her own story to tell, and again is masterful at making us feel it. This album isn't for the faint of heart, though. As many of its themes and moods lean towards depression, I do caution anybody who would listen to this album. With that in mind, this album gets 5 stars. If you haven't listened to it, you should really go give Fiona Apple a try. She has a few other albums that came out after this, but her debut album is magnificent. So what did you think of this review of Fiona Apple's Tidal? Let me know down in the comments. Let me know what your favorite track is. Let me know what you feel about Fiona Apple's rebellious streak or whatever. Let's just talk down in the comments. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Twitter. I have been posting a little bit more to those platforms lately, so definitely you want to be there with us. I also want to shout out 2 new patrons for the Patreon at patreon.com/princessfriend. That would be Juliet McDonald and Jeffrey P. Elmore. Thank you for helping to support the channel. We keep growing and we keep doing amazing things here, and it's because of the patrons that all of this is possible, as well as all you amazing subscribers, so please don't forget to subscribe and like and hit the notifications and all of that stuff. Also, don't forget to go and like the Prince YouTube channel, as it has now become my personal goal to try and shift as many people as I can to liking the Prince YouTube channel. And other than that, I hope you enjoy the review, and may you live to see the dawn. Hey everybody, another way to support the channel is to check out our cool Princess Friend t-shirts. You can find those at princessfriend.threadless.com or right underneath the video that you're watching right now from Teespring. Have a great one!